Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Timon of Athens, and we get to hear from Timon today in Act 4, Scene 1, which I'm doing, you know that he didn't delineate acts and scenes. This one, most people, or lots of versions, consider just this monologue by itself to be Act 4, Scene 1. And we're at the point in the play where we need a little bit of a break, a little bit of a whatever. And if you were directing this, you might want to put the act break after Act 3, Scene 6, which is where we finished off yesterday, which was the second big dinner where Timon disavowed everybody and was throwing plates and flicking water and all that sort of stuff, saying that nobody's worth anything because they wouldn't help him when he needed it. And he basically chased everybody out, and they were all like, what's going on with him? He's crazy. But then, so if you put the act break there to start again now in Act 4, Scene 1, you do need a little bit of a recap, sort of where people are emotionally. And we get that from Timon. He's on the stage by himself, and we are supposedly outside the walls of Athens. And Timon says, "Let me look back upon thee. O wall that girdles in those wolves, dive in the earth and fence not Athens. Matrons, turn incontinent. Obedience, fail in children. Slaves and fools, pluck the grave wrinkled senate from the bench and minister in their steads. To general filths, convert the instant green virginity. Do it in your parents' eyes. Bankrupts, hold fast rather than render back. Out with your knives and cut your trusters' throats. Bound servants, steal. Large-handed robbers your grave masters are, and pill by law. Maid, to thy master's bed, thy mistress is of the brothel. Son of 16, pluck the lined crutch from the old limping sire. With it, beat out his brains. Piety and fear, religion to the gods, peace, justice, truth, domestic awe, night rest and neighborhood, instruction, manners, mysteries and trades, degrees, observances, customs, and laws decline to your confounding contraries, and yet confusion live. Plagues incident to men, your potent and infectious fevers heap on Athens, ripe for stroke. Thou cold sciatica, cripple our senators that their limbs may halt as lamely as their manners. Lust and liberty creep in the minds and marrows of our youth, that 'gainst the stream of virtue they may strive and drown themselves in riot. Itches, blains, sow all the Athenian bosoms, and their crop be general leprosy. Breath infect breath, that their society, as their friendship, may be merely poison. Nothing I'll bear from thee but nakedness, thou detestable town. Take thou that too, with multiplying banes. Timon will to the woods, where he shall find the unkindest beast more kinder than mankind. The gods confound, hear me, you good gods all, the Athenians, both within and out that wall, and grant as Timon grows, his hate may grow to the whole race of mankind, high and low. Amen. So Timon's still angry about everything that has been going on, and he has to some degree maybe turned into Apemantus, because remember at the beginning of the play we had Apemantus who thought that everybody was terrible, and he predicted that everybody was going to ditch Timon, or disavow friendship to Timon, wouldn't help him if he ever needed it. And Timon was this like super optimistic guy who, even when Flavius said that he had already tried to borrow money from the senators and the senators said no, Timon was still like, but there's still hope, maybe one of my other friends will come through and help me. But Timon has now sort of become Apemantus and has no faith left in humanity, to the point where he is now leaving Athens. He says he's going to go live in the woods and befriend animals, because the animals are going to be kinder to him than humans are. And on his way out, he curses everybody in Athens. He says, whatever you are now, become the opposite, because it's just chaos in Athens, and that's the only thing that makes sense at this point. So, all of the sex workers are now going to become virtuous, and all of the kids are going to, steal the crutches from the old men and beat them to death with it. And rather than pay back your debts, you might as well just kill the people that you borrowed the money from, and all of this sort of thing. And he wishes a plague of like sciatica and boils and rashes and stuff like that, and leprosy all over everybody who lives in Athens. And then he asks the gods that while they are smiting all of Athens, he asks them to let him hold on to his hate and make his hate grow enough that he will hate all of mankind sort of regardless. And with those lovely words of farewell, he goes off to live in the woods. And that's the end of Act 4, Scene 1. So you can see it's kind of a good, if you were to have an intermission and you come back to this, then it's like, oh yeah, that's where we are. We can go from here. So that's where we are. We can go from here, and come on back tomorrow and we'll see where we're going from here. I'll see you then.